Hello and welcome to the 10th episode of Crunch Time, the show where we ask a sports-related question to a panel of 4 contestants and need to present their answers to us in the form of 1-minute video rants. My name is Seth Nefsky, filling in for Liam Crothers, and with many athletes lending their voices to the George Floyd protests across America, I've decided to ask our panelists, Kyle, Kayla, Joseph, and Natasha, what athlete is the most compelling outside of his or her sport? And I gotta say, we really got some thoughtful and diverse answers on this one. The rules of the game are simple. Our 4 contestants present their rants to me, and when the episode is over, you, the audience, votes the winner in the comments section or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Links in the description below. But before we get into the rants, let's go over last episode's voting results. Stefano, who ranted that Conor McGregor would be a great WWE wrestler, finished with 18% of the vote. So sorry, Stefano, but don't worry, there's even more McGregor vouching happening today. Arguing that Alphonso Davies would make a good sprinter, Nigel finished with 11% of the vote. So it's time for Nigel to sprint away from crunch time. Kyle, who argued that Cristiano Ronaldo would make a good NBA player, won with 38% of the vote. So congrats, Kyle, on being the new crunch time champion. And lastly, our defending champion, Patrick, who argued that Phil Mickelson would make a good NBA player, got 33% of the vote. So sorry, Patrick, but your crunch time reign is over. But still, winning 2 weeks in a row ain't bad, and now without further ado, let's get into the rants. Our returning champion, Kyle Watson, will be arguing that Liverpool winger Sadio Mane is the most compelling athlete outside of his sport. Fun fact for the non-soccer fans out there, but Sadio Mane is actually 5th cousins with rapper Gucci Mane, and that's why their last names are spelled the same way.
Like many soccer players, Sadio Mane came from humble beginnings. What sets him apart from the rest is that he never lost a sense of modesty, and that's why he's the most compelling athlete outside of his sport. At just 15 years old, Sadio ran away from home to go play for a football academy in the nation's capital, but he never forgot those that he grew up with in his home village of Bambali. While his teammates spend their vacation on resorts, Sadio instead returns home and visits the school and hospital he's built there. He's not only generous with his money, but he also helps out with his time and presence. A video recently went viral of him cleaning the bathrooms at his mosque in Liverpool. There are many more stories of Sadio being a good guy, but instead of telling you them all, I'm going to instead leave you with this quote. "I've been hungry. I've had to work in the fields. I've played football barefoot, but today with what I earn through football, I can help my people. I prefer that my people receive a little bit of what life has given to me." It's safe to say that the world would be a lot better place if more people acted like Sadio Mane.
Thanks, Kyle, and gotcha to the people that believed my fun fact. Next is Kayla Rosmus, arguing that Colin Kaepernick is the most compelling athlete outside of his sport. Take it away, Kayla.
If we're here to talk about an athlete that's just as compelling off the field as they are on, then we have to talk about Colin Kaepernick. I mean, he's easily the most polarizing figure in American sports, and there's arguably no one else in pop culture that's as divisive and appreciated at the same time. His silent protest against social injustice, specifically to the deaths of African Americans at the hands of police, was so momentous because he did what most, if not all, athletes are apprehensive to do, and make it about more than just the game. He wasn't afraid to stand up for something, even if that meant losing everything. And even though he continues to wait for a job, that hasn't caused him to stay idle in the fight. Not only has he donated $100,000 every month to up to 4 charities, but he's also held free camps for children to instruct them on proper interaction with law enforcement. Kaepernick has made his legacy about so much more than just football, and has put in the time, effort, and money to reinforce his fight against police brutality. His initial protest transpired across leagues and has cemented him as a trailblazer in the Black Lives Matter movement. He's arguably just as, if not more relevant than he was when he was in the league, and that is what makes him so compelling.
Thanks, Kayla, and good choice bringing your rant to the great outdoors. Very good mise en scène, and also a very great opportunity for me to use my word of the day. Next, it's time for halftime. For this halftime, we've got an awesome clip from the ENHL Playoff Network, home of the continued NHL season on Twitch, and Crunch Timer Kayla even made the graphics.
As Pecorine, who is having a sparkling hockey game to this point. Well, his line score doesn't look so good anymore. Shot there! Oh, what a glove save! Prove me wrong, Pecorine! Matthew Tkachuk just got robbed. And what a huge save by Pecorine at this point in the hockey game.
Next, we have Joseph Shinuda, arguing that Giannis Antetokounmpo is the most compelling athlete outside of his sport. According to Joseph, Giannis isn't just the Greek freak, but the compelling freak.
Now, when I was thinking about this question, I was thinking, it's got to be someone with a good story, they got to be likable, and they just got to have a big impact. Now, all of that pointed to Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak. Now, Giannis grew up in Athens, where he and his brothers had to help support the family by selling toys, trinkets, souvenirs, sunglasses, that kind of thing. They made maybe $10 a day, and yeah, it's not that much, but that kind of thing helped develop Giannis into the man he is today. He's a humble guy. He's a family man. Even in his first few years in the NBA, Giannis didn't even have a car because he would constantly be sending his NBA paychecks back to Greece just to support his family. Giannis is also heavily involved both in the community of Wisconsin and back in Greece, where he's constantly doing charitable events, donations, just to give back. Giannis knows exactly how it feels, how hard it is to come up in poverty, and that's why he's very likable. He's got that personality. And one more thing, actually. He's coming to Toronto in 2021. Cheers.
Thanks, Joseph. And yeah, Giannis, come to Toronto. What? Like, do you really want to be in Milwaukee, where it's all cold and miserable all the time? Or do you want to come to Toronto, where it's also cold and miserable all the time? Last but not least, we have Natasha Kistoth arguing that Conor McGregor is the most compelling athlete outside of his sport. And I'm going to need to hear your case about that. But what I do know is that he sure does have the weirdest tattoos in sports. Like, dude has more animals on his body than Jeff Lowe has in his suitcase.
Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. What's that? The weekend's coming up? It sure is. You know, if I could go to the bar with any athlete, it would be Conor McGregor, if he still drank. I mean, bar fights, you already know who's gonna win. But personality-wise, he has the personality to get you past any bouncer. And that's why I've chosen him as the most compelling athlete outside of their sport. With Conor McGregor, what you see is what you get. He's not like other athletes, cool as a cucumber before the game, and then in the game, a completely different person. No way. He is his cocky, non-apologetic self in the ring and outside of the ring. He's also the human form of the rags to riches story. Going from a nobody to one of the best fighters in the UFC, Conor McGregor proves that hard work and believing in yourself can get you anywhere. He's also the epitome of second chances. Going from getting in trouble with the police, struggling with alcoholism, to turning his life around, Conor McGregor makes himself the most compelling athlete outside of his sport.
Thanks, Natasha, and good billionaire strut at the end. I mean, I don't mean to be too provocative, but I think that may be the best celebration in sports. Wait a minute. Hey Siri, note to self, put what's the best celebration in sports in Crunch Time's question ideas.
Sorry, there was a problem with the app.
Well, that's it for Crunch Time. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, most importantly, make sure to vote for the episode winner either in the comments or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You can follow the Crunch Time Ranters on social media with links in the description below, and be sure to check out the ENHL Playoff Network. My name is Seth Nefsky, and thanks for watching Crunch Time.